Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Direwolf 20's 1.16 pack, where today we're going to get into some more tripling. And we're also going to have some more to triple. Kinda. Alright, just whipped up this advanced exporter. It's just got more slots for recipes, and I made this stack upgrade, which somebody mentioned I should probably use for my digital miner. But I'm doing that for importing ores into the system, because we are going to be getting a bunch of stuff. Like there's all... yeah, we're not going to have enough stuff here, I don't think. Coal definitely doesn't just want to go in there, but like these things are going to. Redstone ore, I think I do want to... I might want to whip up an importer. There's actually a few ores we haven't gotten here yet that need to go in this importer, so I'll just try and remember to keep an eye on that. But the reason we're going to need this, and the reason we're going to have to work on upgrading our power today, is we got some extra void miners. Now, I had this running for a bit, and if you ignore these crystals, this is the sort of stuff I was getting. But I was really looking for these crystals, and turns out you need to make your void miner, your void ore miner, into a void crystal miner, which is made by just changing the flash memory to a crystal miner. Just a warning, I did try and assemble this by hand because it kept doing that incorrect construction direction thing. It did seem to work when I right-clicked on the side last time, but when I did it from the bottom it actually deleted all the blocks and I ended up with nothing. So assembling these by hand is not a good idea, and yeah, they're just a bit buggy. But these two guys are crystal miners, because I want to get to the next tier of the void miner. And this guy over here, he's just importing straight into the system. He's just a ore miner. But we're going to be draining a lot of power. You can see we're inputting 2.3k, but we're also outputting 2.3k. Surprisingly, this guy still has power in him. So does that guy. This guy doesn't. Let's powering these two first. But we're going to start running into all sorts of problems. Our energy storage is now empty. And yeah. Might be time to upgrade our power reactor, I think. Yeah. So let's see how we do that. Now, I think we need 36... oh, and yes, I've replaced the hull with an elevator, and I expanded downstairs a little bit. Yeah. Just a little bit. Just a tad. Yeah. Just making room for more stuff, because it was getting a little bit messy. And I sort of dug a big hole in the floor to have it sort of open, and I didn't like the way it looked. So, yeah. And these are now white, because I accidentally right-clicked on them with white dye. So I just dyed all of them. But, upgrading our power reactor. Because right now we are on the starter tier. So, in theory, this said 100 RF a tick, and this one says 400 RF a tick. You can imply that it would make 4 times as much power. So this guy currently makes 1500. So we could say we might get about 6k RF a tick out of the next level of power reactor. And unfortunately this doesn't actually use the previous blocks. But these were pretty easy. This was just 36 of these, and it kind of assembles itself. Now I think we're going to be missing some stuff. I mean, it looks like it's just slightly more resources. Maybe we want to go straight to hardened, because hardened uses this energized steel. Just going to take a bit of power. No, let's go the next tier up. Let's make the basic tier. And this shouldn't be too bad, I don't think, because I think we should have all the other recipes. So for basic casings, if we were to ask for 36... oh, we don't. We haven't taught these things. Basic capacitors and dielectric casings. Let's get some more patterns. I think a stack of patterns should be good. So we don't know how to make these and these, right? Maybe I didn't teach any of this stuff. Oh, maybe I didn't have auto crafting when I made the reactor. Yeah, I'm not seeing the patterns. Alright. So we're not going to know how to make this. We're not going to know how to make that. We're not going to know how to make these. Blaze powder won't be an issue anymore. Clay might be an issue. So these guys we won't know. Hey, looks like we got it. Now, I might just replace this guy, I think. Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up with the resource demands for 2 reactors. Nice, we're making 3,000. We need water in here because we discovered that makes a difference. Making about 6,000 RF a tick. That's pretty cool. These guys will transport 6,000 RF a tick. And I did just see in a comment that was left on the last video I uploaded that apparently we can upgrade these basic universal cables, I'm assuming with this infused alloy. And apparently, I've never tried this, but it sounds really cool. If we just right click on cables, they're going to upgrade for us. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, that's so much better than replacing them. Boy, that's good. So we should be good for power now. That was easy. Yeah, I think that's going to keep up with our demands. And if we come out and have a look over here. Statistics inputting. I'm not actually inputting. Oh, because it's full. That's why we're not inputting the full 6,000. That makes sense. And yeah, so we're getting like rock crystal ore, which is interesting. Apparently this is quite hard to find, so this is quite a good way to get these. But there's lots of stuff in here. Like, I don't even know what we use sapphires for. We can use them for making power. And you know, I may as well make another... Do I make another ender chest? Or... let's do this. Yeah, because this stuff will all just go straight into the system. And then we can use it. Alright, so, bit of tidying up later. Sorted out these pipes, and these guys are just sitting there running. Yeah. Organised some more of the automatic processing, which is cool. So I think the next thing I want to do, I think we're going to get into mechanism. Sort of debating, you know, do I carry on with power and just make the next reactors? And we could. We might do that if we don't get very far through mechanism's power generation. I want to make the cool reactor that's used for making the mecha suit and stuff. But I don't really know. I've watched a video on how it works, and it looks cool. Looks like we could destroy a base with radiation. Not actually destroyed, but just make it uninhabitable, which would be interesting. But yeah, these guys are just going to sit there running, and we'll upgrade. We'll start upgrading them to the next tiers as time goes on. But in the meantime, I want to get into mechanisms or processing. So I think we're going to do that down here. Now I'm assuming that we've got things. Is shard the final level? No, crystals are the last thing. So this is where we want to end up. And I've tried rushing for ore. I think this quintuples ore. So 1 dirty gold slurry becomes clean. So 100. So 1 gold ore becomes 1 bucket of slurry. Yes, and then yeah, the 1 bucket becomes this many crystals. These crystals get made into these shards get made into these clumps get made into dust, this dust gets enriched into the normal dust, which then of course can just be smelted into the ingots. So, this stage is easy. Dirty gold dust. We're going to get that from clumps. We're going to get clumps from a purification chamber. So this is where we want to start. We want to start going from clumps to dirty gold, and then we'll work on the steps above this. So we are going to need oxygen. You could turn flint into oxygen. Interesting. So in the past I've used the electrolytic separator to make hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen, we're going to need that eventually. Oh, and one thing I should mention, which somebody did tell me, was these quantum tanks. Essentially a black hole tank. At the moment it's got 80 buckets of experience, and it holds the max size integer of that liquid. And the recipe for that was really cheap. Like, probably too cheap. Because a quantum tank is literally 3 buckets and 3 iron, and it is essentially an infinite size tank. And I mean, you could just put another one if it gets full. Yeah, just because our ender tank was full, and yeah, we were wasting mobs over there. And yeah, let's just see what random enchants we get on our gear. And then we'll start our mechanism. So we got, what are these things? Gourmand 2. What does that do? Food is more nourishing and satisfying when consumed. Okay. We got mending, unbreaking, and insight. Insight's more experience. I mean, yep, sure, that's not super useful. Unbreaking 3, vitality. Vitality's cool. We got mending as well. Chilling rebuke. I think that was enemies get like frozen when they attack us. Soulbound, that's not a very good one. Multi-jump 5, meaning I actually don't want multi-jump. Oh, actually, how annoying is multi-jump? It's a little bit annoying. That's okay. We'll see if it annoys me enough that I want to get rid of it. And, oh, let's try some of this more nourishing food. Okay, that was significantly more nourishing. And we got a bunch of extra health. Cool. Alright, getting distracted. Let's come down to our wide open basement. Now, I think we should have plenty of room to expand out this way for hiding ugly machines, which there's going to be a few. So, I think I want to end up over this side. So, the first stage was a crusher, and that's going to turn our gold clumps into dirty gold dust. And we need an enrichment chamber. So really we want an enrichment chamber, and then a crusher, and before that we need this purification chamber. And that's going to need to get some oxygen, which we're going to do with an electrolytic separator. We'll start with electrolytic separator, get a couple of quantum tanks for hydrogen and oxygen. Because they're so cheap, why would I not use them? But yeah, probably a little bit too cheap. And actually, we still need the smelter as well after this. So let's go with a smelting factory. And we might as well make these all factories, really. So we make the energized smelter, which can be used to make the basic smelting factory, and we can upgrade these to like the advanced and the ultimate, whatever else the other tiers are. So this guy goes at the end of the line, and we'll stay up here for now because we might need to do more stuff with these. Our basic smelting factory. Next we need this basic enriching factory. Let's just make a bunch of them. So start with an enrichment chamber. Basic enriching factory. So he's going to live there. And he's going to be enriching the dirty dust that is getting crushed. Oh, we need a couple of buckets of lava. So basic crushing factory needs the crusher. Basic crushing factory. And he is going to be getting stuff from the purifying factory. And it's a couple of these circuits. Which starts with an enrichment chamber. Becomes a purification chamber. Which will become a purifying factory. Basic purifying factory. Nice. And he's going to need... this is where we need the electrolytic separator. Oh, we need some iron dust. Which I don't want to say we might have in here by now. We don't yet. So we'll start with a couple of electrolytic separators. Not sure how many we'll need. We'll want another sink. Because it's kind of just the easiest way to get water. I got a sink. Nice. Let's grab these machines. Let's see how far we get. So we're going to have a sink. We're going to have these electrolytic separators. Now, they are kind of funny with their sides. As in each side will only do certain stuff. I believe the front is the water input. So let's get our sink. We can go here. Get our electrolytic separators. I guess stacking them would. Then we still got the power. The power can go in the back. A couple of these guys. Let's upgrade our mechanical pipes. And these guys are going to start making hydrogen and oxygen. Now we're going to need the gas pipe. Tube, is it? Advanced pressurized tube. Let's get the advanced ones. I think we have oxygen in here. Cool. So if we grabbed one of these quantum tanks. I guess you'd go here. And you have air. Do you not hold... You only hold liquids. Quantum storage unit, quantum tank, quantum controller. We may not have something for gases, so that's cool. These tanks should work. Oh, actually no they don't. We need mechanisms got gas tanks. Let's get a couple. And let's upgrade it to the advanced one. This should hold. He's holding oxygen. Nice. And then we get these pressurized tubes. And this is just where our hydrogen is going to live, and we'll store some of it. And I've forgotten what goes on what side. These guys need power. Let's just get another flux point, because these things are just really easy. And I mean, I guess you can just go right on there. And then we need our cable. Nice, and that's really noisy. I seem to, when I change dimensions, it seems like we lose these things, which is unfortunate. But we can make muffling upgrades for them, which I might actually do. That's right, we've got our oxygen over here, hydrogen over here. This oxygen is going to be used, and I guess we can come out the bottom of the sky. Will be just as easy. I might have made this in the wrong place, actually. Let me chuck them back over this way a little bit, because this is where I wanted to end up. Alright, that's better. Ending up with oxygen over here, because we're going to have the dude that wants oxygen, and that is the purifying factory. And you're going to live, I guess, right there, because then you've got power. And ores are going to be coming in here. I guess I could have an ender chest. Well, here we go. And you need to be getting... I guess we'll do it from the bottom. Output. Now you've got oxygen. Nice. And yeah, I managed to mine some iron ore when I was clearing at the back, so iron ore is going to go in here. We'll put auto sort on. And that's a cool noise. He's going to be making iron clumps. These need to go into the crusher. Let's get a basic crushing factory. Output, auto eject. No, you're out of power, obviously. No, not listening to that. Put auto sort on for you as well. This goes into our enriching factory. You want to auto eject on. You're going to split your outputs as well. You need power. And then lastly, a smelting factory. Auto eject on, and oh, those noises. Oof. Cool. And auto sort on. Perfect. I doubt these guys are going to keep up. And we also want to... Which side is oxygen going on? Let's break this. Oxygen is on this side. So this is oxygen. The light blue is oxygen. Cool. Nope. Cool. So we want to dump the excess hydrogen. Because we're going to end up with a buildup of that, because we're not actually using this yet. And hey, that'll work. Then obviously we'd want to go into probably an ender chest. And I guess for now we'll just keep using that same one that just imports into our system. And awesome, he ejects. And that works. So we need to stop our pulverizer. From importing certain stuff. Like stuff that we can purify. So like tin or no. No. Oops, niter probably couldn't be. These can't be purified. That can be, that can be. Didn't know about fluorite. If I could spell it. So there's fluorite dust, so I don't think that can be done. Now we're not actually getting much stuff from our void ore miner, to be fair. These guys are pretty slow. Right, I'm going to go move the digital miner just to a new spot, so we end up getting some actual resources to work with. Alright, just set up refined storage cable and an importer. Move the digital miner, so we should now be getting some ores that we can process. Things like silver ore can go in here. If he did, he should get input red. It's not going to automatically pull. That is unfortunate. I guess we just move them across. If we had this here, had that exporter, silver ore. The logistical pipe. Yeah, that is nice. And does silver ore not work? Ah, it's not ore dictionaried with. Silver clump. Ah, we don't have silver clumps. Well, okay, not silver ore then. What other ores did we have in here? Trusty old iron ore. Iron ore should be fine. There we go. It's going to go in there, get purified, get crushed, and that 5 iron ore is going to become 15 iron ingots at the end of it. Perfect. Oops, and I blocked that up with glowstone. Needed it for some crafting. Yeah, I think that's kind of that. Yeah, some ore's not going into the system is going to be a little bit annoying. Copper ore we'd want. I think we want it. Yeah, copper ore works. Does bauxite? Bauxite doesn't work. Okay, maybe this isn't going to be as useful as I thought it was. Alright, yeah, so in between episodes I will figure out what we're doing with the ore that can't be tripled. Because I'm assuming if it can't be tripled, we can't quintuple it either. It doesn't look like it. I'm gonna assume that's just a compatibility thing, that maybe Mekanism doesn't recognize silver yet, but I'm sure it's going to be coming in the future. And actually we could have a look, right? We can only make iron, gold, osmium, copper, tin, lead, and uranium. Well, that makes some sort of sense. So we can only ever do these guys. Yeah, and it's the same with the shards. Alright, well that's easy. So we know we're only processing these things. Which, to be fair, might make this a little bit less useful. But hey, I'll set it all up, and we'll hope in a future update we get some more compatibility with other ores. Well guys, we've got ourselves Mekanism's ore tripling set up, and yep, it works. Doesn't do all the ores, unfortunately, but it certainly does a couple. Yeah, this has been Classic Duff. You've been watching the episode. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.